For 34 years, Merlefest, presented by Window World, has delivered music, moments, and memories to thousands of loyal fans. Join the fun April
Real Country 550 and 92.9 WAME Statesville. Real Country.
Welcome to Racing Roots with Hamm.
If you don't know our host, David Hamm, he's a 25-year NASCAR veteran, engine builder, and jackman.
Live every Monday evening, we have a new guest
From the racing world with their stories, their paths,
their
racing roots.
Sponsored by Jersey Cape Yachts.
Now here's our host, David Hamm.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Racing Roots with Hamm, right here on 550 AM, 92.9 FM, and DHammiam on YouTube. So if you're listening on the radio and y'all want to watch us live, wait till you get home, of course, and you're not driving down the road. But you can go on to DHammiam on YouTube and see us here live in the Randy Marion studio, because we got a really exciting show going on for you. We actually got three guests. So one is a big time, what do you call it? Mini sprint driver, I guess.
Outlaw car.
Outlaw. Not okay. Wow. Excuse me. All right. So go. You don't have a microphone over here.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Right here.
So who we got in here with us? First of all, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Colt McKinney. I'm a outlaw kart driver.
Very good.
I've been racing for 3.5 years now. I started in a quarter midget when I was four and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. That's a great job there. You must have either been practicing, or did your dad get you ready, or your mom say,
No,
this is what you need to.
Yeah,
There you go.
He's a marketing sponsorship lady's son.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yes. And also we have Ryan Marshall, Ryan and Allison McKinney.
Yeah.
Marshall's my maiden name.
Marshall. Yeah, I was looking right at your shirt.
my shirt.
Bobby Marshall. Your dad was a legendary Bobby Marshall, who he finished second in 1980
Yep, at the Knoxville Nationals.
Knoxville Nationals.
Finished second to Steve Kinzer the year that he won his first Knoxville Nationals. So Steve was one of his best friends, and he used to say, "Can you just let me win one?"
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If you're going to finish second to someone,
Yeah.
he would be the guy.
Yeah. Well, and that year it fogged out. So they actually finished it on Sunday. So he led until they called the race and put it under red. Mm-hmm. And then when the race resumed, it was just a very different track. So so Steve ended up passing him, and he ended up finishing second to him. But
Yeah. But who else has done that?
right.
I mean, yeah.
Lots of people have finished second to Steve. So
Yeah, that's it. So, and then we have Ryan over here, who is, what do you do now?
So I'm the competition director for the SRX Superstar Racing Experience series that hopefully everybody's heard about. Ray Evernham and Tony Stewart partners in it, and got with George Pine and Sandy Montag, and it's kind of a remodel of the old IROC series, right? We got equally prepared, all equal race cars that we call upon a lot of superstar drivers from different disciplines and series of racing to come compete in equally prepared cars on short tracks all throughout the country. So it's kind of nothing big, nothing where aerodynamics come in play, just driver against driver, see who's the best. That's live on CBS. So
Now, is it more fun than the Cup Series? I mean, I know what the answer is going to be.
I've had last year, even though it was probably the most amount of work I've done in a long, long time, it was a lot of work getting it all put together and started in that very short time frame. But it was the most fun I've had in many, many, many years.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And I've seen some of the racing, and as some of the guys that come back to racing that you hadn't seen in many years, Willie T. Ribbs and Greg Biffle was one, but she ended up coming back. But to see some of those guys coming and racing, it's pretty cool. The guys from different racing series as well.
Yeah, that was one of the really cool things for me because, you know, you've worked in the Cup Series and on the NASCAR side for a long, long time. So, you know, just being around the superstar drivers, it was no big deal to us, right? You know, being around Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt, or whoever it might be. But this was an opportunity for me to work with drivers I never would have had the chance to, you know, on the stock car side. Willie T. Ribbs, Elio Castroneves, Tony Kanaan, Paul Tracy, all those type guys. So, yeah, it was a really cool experience for sure.
Yeah. I think the last time I was around Tony Stewart was when he was coming after Carl Edwards a little bit. They had a few words, and then that was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the track from 95 to 2001, and then I went back in 2004, the year that Kurt Busch won the championship. I got sent to some of the tracks for that, and then after that, I just stayed in the shop and built engines. You know,
Sharpie car.
Yeah, that's right. The '97.
That's probably. I was working at Roush in the Busch shop then.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably why I
That car
recognize you.
is where they keep his car.
Yeah.
They have that.
Oh, yeah.
The guys that Colt races for. It's Bryce Spence. He also works for Kurt Busch, and Kurt's car that he won the championship with is sitting in the shop where they bring his car back to after he races Millbridge. So they sit in the same shop. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got to see Kurt's
It is.
supercar.
His Ford GT that he's got.
Oh, okay. Yeah. His GT, yeah. He brought that into the shop over, and I believe he let Doug Yates borrow it for a little while. Pretty sure.
I would.
That was probably a
Maybe
smart
we'll
move,
get faster that way.
I think so. Yeah. Well, very cool. So are you having a good time with your racing? You're starting your career. Do you want to keep racing and you want to be a NASCAR or a SRX, whatever?
Sprint car driver.
Sprint car driver. Okay. Well, that's cool. Like your grandfather. Yeah. Very nice. And I guess you were around him. Well, he passed away in December of last year. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. I looked and I saw a lot of the condolences and all that kind of stuff, but he seemed like he was a pretty awesome, special man, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was really active in Colts racing, and his favorite place was being at Millbridge, out there at the racetrack, watching all those kids race, not just Colt, but all of his buddies. And we started Colt quarter midget racing out at Salisbury, the track that Bobby Labonte started. So they have a true rookie program, USAC does, with the quarter midget series. So we started him over there because he was 4.5 when Ryan wanted to put him in a cart. So I said, you know, let's put him over there first. Let's let him get a little bit of actual, you know, some rookie training, let him learn how to respect his competitors, you know, learn all the rules and stuff, and then we'll go dirt racing. So, but dirt is in my blood. It's in my background. So that's where we got over there as quickly as we could. So now we're at Millbridge.
Very good. Bryson's getting him hooked up with a microphone.
Got you hooked up. Now
So pull that mic down and close to your
now
mouth.
You really got to get rid of your gum. Give it to me. I'll do like I've done plenty of my drivers along the way.
Here,
I've
spit it
handled
out.
many of people's gum in my career. So let me just add you to the list.
That's funny. That reminded me of my dad last night. So my dad's got Alzheimer's, and one of the things I like to buy him chewing gum because he loves the bubble gum flavor. And I bought the watermelon flavor, and I took that down, and I was thinking, I thought I bought bubble gum. Anyway, I ended up finding the bubble gum flavor in my truck. Well, the watermelon, I noticed he wasn't really chewing a whole lot of it, and I took down some bubble gum flavor, and then now he chews it in wads. So
Gets one piece and puts another piece in. And then
yes.
puts
Like a ball
another piece
player.
in.
yes, so he loves that flavor. Last night he sat down at dinner, and then I was like, all right, Dad, spit it out right here.
It's time to eat real food.
Yeah, so he just spits it out. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Good stuff, though. All
You
right.
have to ration it to him.
Yeah, so we also have our young Bryson over here, who is also, we call him a Patrick Swayze kind of look-alike. If you see his mullet, if you didn't notice,
We like it.
you can see it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's bringing it back.
Bryson
It's
would
probably
fit right
already
in at
back. Where you at,
Millbridge.
number 3?
Yeah.
All right.
There's
that
lots of
work?
kids at Millbridge that got that going on.
Maybe a cross
Yeah.
between Patrick Swayze and Kenny Powers, maybe.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Waddell.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so yes,
stuff.
I'll have to find the camera for you there, Bryson. But you,
Oh yeah.
you are you were at Hickory.
Yeah. Yeah, I spend most Saturday nights at Hickory now working down there, just hanging out. And we had a pretty good couple races this Saturday. It was very cold, I will tell you. I don't think I've ever been to a race that cold, but anytime there's a race, you know, it's racing. So whether it's cold or not, so it was good racing. And there was a couple loyal fans that came out, fought the weather to be there. So yeah, it was pretty good. We always have a good time up there.
You said you saw the best race that you've seen in a while.
Well, the best street stock race I've ever seen. They were probably side by side, and I was trying to get the names up here because I couldn't quite remember. But yeah, they were side by side for 20 out of 30 laps, I'd say at least. So it was pretty good, real clean racing, and they were going at it. So yeah, it was pretty good. But
they race every Saturday night.
Every Saturday night except next Saturday. Easter coming around and everything. But yeah, every Saturday night. And it's the same old weekly series. Last week is what they ran. Had the Cars Tour come in about 2 weeks ago, so that's always good. So that was pretty good. So, yeah, a lot of fun down there.
Well, good job. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Hey, Preston, while the camera's on you, why don't you hold up those shirts that's in front of you?
Yeah, I got you right here. Yeah. Some new. I'll set that.
Yeah, we got some new merch in, I guess, merchandise, whatever, shirts. And so figure we would just show them off a little bit if anybody wants to get any. The link is in the top comment, the very first comment. So there's one.
That shirt's very cool.
Yes.
That's mine.
I like that one.
Yeah. That don't look like a small, but it is, whatever.
What are you trying to say?
No, I'm just saying,
Tie-dye is always
That's
cool.
a tie-dye.
Yeah, can't go wrong with tie-dye.
So y'all know Matt Ashbrenner, right?
Yeah.
So he ordered a shirt one time when we were doing our Chillbillies thing, and it was I forgot what it was, like Kiss or something like
Tie-dye's
that.
cool. Yeah, you like that one.
Yeah, that's Scott Trevison's, and he ordered a shirt, and it come in. It was a Chinese medium or large or whatever, but it was
a half shirt.
I mean, Matt's skinny, but he's not that skinny, so.
Yes. All right.
Cool.
All right.
Trev, I worked with Beer Man. I worked with Beer Man at Ganassi.
Oh, did you?
Cool.
My very first job in NASCAR was 2004, and our drivers were Casey Mears in the Target car, Sterling was still in the Coors Light car, and McMurray was in the Halfland car, and Trev was our beer man.
Yep. He is the infamous or the famous beer man, I guess.
Absolutely.
Whenever I was going, I started there in 94, beginning of 95, whatever. And he was everywhere we would go, they would have the Coors Light banners hanging up, and it'd be like, how did he get that up there? But you always saw that coming into Bristol or Martinsville or wherever. You always saw the banners. So he did a great job of hanging those. And so anyway, now he's down in Florida.
Yep.
So I was at Ganassi till 2000, through the 2000 season, and I ended up leaving in 2001 because Ganassi I was an engine builder, so Ganassi was getting his engines elsewhere. Yep. So I left at that point and went to Carl Wagner's for a year, and then 2 years at Bill Davis, and then to Robert Yates Racing, which is now Roush Yates Engines. Yeah, so I just missed you.
I was only there for 1 year, and then I went to Braun Racing and did PR for Shane Mill the year that he got yanked out of the car.
Okay.
That was me.
Yeah, that was bad.
And so then I went and I did Kenny Wallace's PR for a year, and then I was his business manager for 5 years. So we overlapped. I followed you, but in certain ways. So
right, yeah.
The Bill Davis thing, so,
Yeah, I built engines for Kenny Wallace.
Exactly.
And, it's like, gosh.
Yep.
Small world. In NASCAR, that's the way it is,
It's easier for us at this point between the two of us to tell people who we didn't work for.
Yeah.
So.
Right. True. And so Matt Ashbrenner, I asked him, I said, you can come out tonight if you want, or of course you can come out anytime. But he said he's up in the air right now, flying his plane. He's getting his wings, I guess you could say.
Him.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, he sent me a video of him landing one of those little planes, and it looks like the propeller's not turning, because you're doing a video. But he ended up landing it all right. I thought that was pretty neat. So he didn't make it tonight. I said, give us a call in from the airplane.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be. But he's doing his training thing. So, the instructor might be
The instructor might not like that.
You get points deducted for that, mister. Yes. So, Colt, what do you want to have I know you're going to be a sprint car racer, right?
Yeah.
Have you thought about any other type of career? I'm pretty sure that racing's going to work out. I'm not saying it's not.
Racing, if not, definitely baseball.
Okay, baseball. There you go.
Baseball is my other thing.
Yeah. Well, good. So you like baseball? Do you play any other sports?
In the fall, I play football a little bit. But my baseball coaches coached the football team that I was on last year.
So he talked you into coaching football, or the other way around? I mean, to playing football.
Playing, yeah.
Okay. That's
I'm
the way it
from
works.
Texas, but I won't let him play. He's built like a football player,
Yeah.
but I won't let him play full like tackle football yet.
Okay.
He's only 8.
Yeah. Let me
He's
guess.
got a big head. I'm like, no. Yeah.
I'll
We
guess
need
your
to grow into
positions.
that first, and
Yes.
there's plenty of time to play tackle football later. So
Mm-hmm.
racing and baseball is contact enough right now.
Yeah. You're right. I agree with that. That's good.
He spent the weekend. There was no racing around this weekend, so he spent the
Hurt my
weekend
knee real
playing
bad.
baseball.
And
But
Hit
when
a
you
home run this weekend.
Oh, did you really? Good for you. Good job. And when you focus on too many things at one time, it's hard to be really good at everything, right, Joey? I think me and Joey Cudmore, we had that talk this morning a little bit about that. He was telling me that. So yeah, he's in here with us too. He's hiding way over there though. But
He went to the timeout corner.
The
he'll,
infamous Joey Jive.
the Joey Jive. That's right. We'll have to talk about his stuff a little bit too at some point. He'll come over here after a while. He won't be able to stand it too much longer. Oh gosh. All right. So I zoomed in on your picture, your shirt, your T-shirt, Bobby Marshall shirt.
yeah.
That's very cool.
So this is one of the original T-shirts, actually, and my mom and I, we were already working on it with my dad before he passed away, but we had the artist recreate this artwork, and then another one that was the two most well-known, or that people recognize the most. So we're actually going to reprint this T-shirt and one other one. So I'm waiting for the artwork to just come back on the actual on the blank that we're going to print them on, so that we can put those up and do some pre-orders. So
Yeah, I saw that design on the. I guess it's Ryan's profile picture.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we for the Darlington throwback race, the quarter midgets had a national at Darlington. They like to piggyback off of a IndyCar race or NASCAR race or something when they can, because their races, their national events, they just put up in a parking lot, the track. So we were over at the car auction lot across from Darlington Raceway, and so it was throwback weekend, and all the quarter midget racers ran some sort of throwback scheme. So we did his grandfather's Blue Max sprint car scheme on there, and Bobby got he was there and came with us, and that was Colt's first national win. So that worked out cool. It was kind of cool.
That is very cool. Good job. Man, you're just hitting home runs all over the place. Now, have you raced against? Let's see, Braxton? Is it?
Braxton Bush.
Yeah. Is he in a different series, different class? I mean,
Well, he raced against all those kids last year,
he's-
but
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go
A
ahead.
class lower than me now.
He moved up this year. Colt did.
oh, okay.
Colt could have actually stayed. He's 8. He'll be 9 in May. He could have stayed in that class, in the beginner box stock class at Millbridge, for another year. But it doesn't matter what class you're in at Millbridge. It's competitive. It's tough. It's when you're racing against 25 or 30 other karts every week. It's tough no matter what division you're in. So Ryan and the guys that he races for decided to go ahead and move him up. So
The other night there was like 39 in my class.
Wow.
yeah,
That is a
so
lot.
we moved him up, but he's raced with, who all do you race with? The
Wyatt
NASCAR
Miller.
kids. Yep.
I
Kelly
race
Earnhardt's
with
son.
I race with
Cash.
Cash Boyer.
I can't think of
Owen Larson.
Owen Larson.
Both Greg Ives' kids.
Yeah, Peyton Yuri. Is that?
Oh yeah, Tony Urey Jr.'s son, Peyton, is
started
in the
racing.
cadet class. He just started racing. He's winning. There's lots of NASCAR kids out there, whether they're crew chief's kids or so you never know who you'll see out there. Ryan Newman's daughter Brooklyn just started racing. She's in the box stock class, or the beginner box stock class right now. So
How about that? So I used to live right over there, and I actually used to race there myself. And I raced in a class called the Outlaw class, because the engines I built for me and my neighbors, they were no way legal. So
Was it Run What You Brung class?
yeah, it was pretty much it. So they said, okay, well, you got 6 of you. We'll just make your own class. We'll have a trophy. You call it Outlaw class, whatever. And of course, I always built my engines just a little bit better. And so I got a few trophies out of it. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And I thought about it. I live right down the street from there. I'm like, all right, you know what? I can capitalize on this. I got a big piece of property right beside me. I could set up a station where if somebody needs like welding or a place to store their carts or all this kind of stuff, I'm just right across,
Absolutely.
And then I ended up moving, so I didn't capitalize on that.
That would be really smart, though.
Yeah, it would be.
There's so many people that drive so far, that drive from Virginia and all these other places, and they get so close, and then it'll rain out. I mean, I can only imagine driving that far with your trailer.
Yes.
And
Right, yes. I just gave Joey an idea. I
We
saw
drive-
him
we
perk
drive
up over
15
there.
minutes. There you go, Joey.
I used to race there
There's a
too.
new business.
Way back when
That's
I
right.
raced there a little bit too, and
Oh, really? Okay.
you know, Ashley and Jeremy Burnett, who own the track now, it's a lot. I'm sure have you been out there at all to
I've been by there, but I haven't actually been.
what
Really
they've done with the
serious.
track and
Yeah.
the facility, and just to bring you know, more dirt racing to this area, and all the kids' classes are thriving. They've done a really good job of promoting and
They're live on
Foster-
Dirt Vision
yeah,
every week,
fostering-
every Tuesday, Wednesday, and
Also get
Saturday. You
money.
can
The
watch
next
these kids
generation
live on
of
Dirt
racing,
Vision.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also get
So
money
you can
out
watch
of
the
it.
World of Outlaws, and you
Yes.
can watch these kids
Yeah.
live on Dirt Vision.
It's a lot of fun to watch them
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's good to see the future of racing is looking bright. There's quite a few young racers out there, so it's really cool.
My
Yeah.
Uncle Terry watches like every race, he says.
Yeah, my family's in Texas, and they can actually watch him. They can watch him race from Texas.
That's
Very
cool.
good.
I was
Yeah.
watching the Outlaws race the other night, and on the bottom it was showing like the upcoming races this week, and it said Tuesday at Millbridge, and it had all the classes listed, and then
Yeah.
what was racing on Wednesday. So
Right.
Yeah.
it's pretty cool when you when he has a chance to race, 15 minutes from home, and it's that competitive and that well known. So
Sure. Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to have some comments from our listeners and questions. So if you got a question, put them up there, and Bryson and Tracy will be looking at those while we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back to Racing Roots with Hamm.
Purity Labs realizes there's lots of information and some misinformation about CBD products. At Purity Labs, our products increase your overall daily well-being. Consuming CBD daily has the potential to decrease your pharmaceutical cost. It's a natural anti-inflammatory, and we have THC-free products for those that are subject to drug testing. Purity Labs products are made naturally using only American-grown hemp and hemp or MCT oil, third-party lab tested, so you're informed and educated about what goes into your body. And Purity Lab products are available online, and they ship anywhere. Visit www.purityhemp.com and get 20% off using the promo code WAME20. Safe and sure. CBD from Purity Labs.
At Banner Drug, we are proud to say we have been caring for our patients in our community since 1996. Our pharmacy offers a personalized customer service experience you expect from a locally owned store. To help you with your prescriptions, all 4 Banner Drug locations can deliver your medication right to your door. You can call in your prescription refill order, or better yet, use the convenient refill button on our website, www.bannerdrug.com.
Hey guys, just a little reminder, Elm Fantasy Store.
Just a few minutes to adjust the cameras, get everything all set up, because we got Colt over here with us too, and we want to make sure that we see him on the camera.
There you go.
And so we have Ryan McKinney
Yep.
Marshall, Ryan McKinney. See, this
know,
whole
my shirt keeps
Marshall
McKinney.
thing is getting me messed up.
Quit looking at her shirt.
Yes. Oh, righty. And Allison McKinney, of course. So yeah, and you know,
We need
and-
you in the middle. Yours says McKinney. We need yours in the middle.
That's all right. Yeah, I knew that was gonna mess me up. It always does. You know, it's like I'm so easily distracted. Like if I always call it squirrel going by.
Yeah, squirrel.
You know,
We
it's
do
just like,
too.
yeah. So I know Joey's the same way too, right? Tracy.
Yes,
Who do
we're
you
going to
think?
say hey to some people.
All right. First of all, who do you think Ryan looks like?
Oh.
Oh, he looks a little bit like Junior.
Yeah.
A little
Exactly.
bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Never
Yeah.
heard that.
Oh.
You never heard that? Okay.
And it's
When he
through the
worked at-
glasses.
Yeah.
I can't think it. Good.
And the eyes. Except
Dad
Join
looks
us,
older.
Dale Jr.
No. When he
Thanks
worked at
for-
Roush, he wore a visor all the time.
Before I had the
And
glasses, I used to get John Gruden. a
John
lot.
Gruden,
I know you probably
the
can't see it. right
NFL
now, but
football
yeah.
coach. Everybody thought he looked like John Gruden.
Okay. Yeah.
He had the flop blonde hair
Yeah.
like Gruden too.
Yeah.
So he got that.
Did
a
you ever
lot.
have a mullet?
I did in high school,
Oh,
middle school and high school.
There you go.
That was before
That's
me.
what I'm talking about.
David did too.
Every
You used to feather
all-American young man had back in that
That's
time.
right.
it. Did you feather it?
No, I was
the
kind of,
Cassidys?
the short, spiky business in the front and party
Yeah.
in the rear. You
I'm
know,
never,
your
ever
standard
gonna have-
Midwest mullet.
David was take his finger and curl his.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's kind of got it's got curls, kind of like the old Harold Holly mullet back
Right.
in the day. Yeah.
Yep. I had Harold on the show. He sat right there, matter of fact.
Really?
And but I just like, man, your hair is not the same. You know. And our buddy Phil Cavalli, who helps us sometimes too.
yeah.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah. A lot of times he would be here. He hadn't been here for a couple months now, but he had
had
the
a lot
long
going
hair.
on.
The
Yeah.
long curly
Oh
hair.
yeah.
But he's shorter now too. So
All good things come to an end.
That's right.
I'm still
let's-
hanging on to mine. Go ahead,
Let's say
Tracy.
hey to some of our people that are
Yes.
listening. Of course, we've got the infamous DD listening, Dargan Watts, Random Epic, Leland Johnson, Suzette McGuire, A&D Hot Rod Shop says looking good, Ryan. And let's see, I saw somebody else down here. Give me just a second. Arlene Waite says hello. Zach Schulich, go Colt. I
Zach
remember
Schulich?
going to Millbridge and
Yeah.
a few other
Probably not
tracks
bad.
with Ryan growing up.
Third Bank Motorsports.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for. I used to coach
And I probably butchered
Zach
the
in
name.
baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yep. I was trying to think if he played football for me too, but I think it was just baseball.
I've known Zach since he was. Al and Sharon were my first neighbors when I had my first house here, so I've known them for a long time.
How about that? Small world, see?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Now they live over off of Teeter Road. Or,
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, down there. Yeah. I texted him the other day. I must have the wrong number, so anyway.
We'll make sure you have the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right.
Suzette says Colt is so cute. Go get him, Colt. Mike
go.
Bear says hello, everyone.
We'll have to tell her she can follow you on your
Instagram,
pages.
Facebook.
Yeah, you have to give all that out.
I think Colt just picked up a few more sponsors with that cute comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, so if people would like to sponsor Colt,
Yeah. We're
How-
always looking for sponsors.
how would they do that? How could they reach y'all?
How would they reach you, Colt?
My mom.
My mom.
My manager.
His all of his social media is at Colt Austin Mac, so you can contact us all there. And he's lucky enough to drive for a team. He has KB Motorsports that he drives for. Kenny and Bryce put together a cart, and they asked him to drive for him. So we're really lucky that they let him drive their outlaw cart. But some friends of ours actually just bought a micro, and they bought 2 micros. So we have the opportunity for him to run a restricted micro if between
shoot
Armac and I we can buy a motor for it. So we'll see. Those motors are a lot more expensive than kart motors. So definitely looking for sponsorships on that. So
Yeah.
anybody wants to be partners. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap that micro with Driven to Save Lives. That's part of a sponsorship that's on some of our family teams. My cousin Richard Marshall co-owns a World of Outlaws team with Ricky Stenhouse. So it's Stenhouse Junior Marshall Racing that Sheldon Hodenshield races. and then the Clausen Marshall Racing team that is a USAC team, and then they're also that All-Stars team that Tyler Courtney won the championship last year with, the All-Star Sprint Cars champions. So Driven to Save Lives is going to be on the micro, so got to raise some money for that motor.
You know, I was thinking back to talking about sprint cars. You know, Kenny Coldsback, Carbon Kenny.
Absolutely.
I think that back in the day, we took this is back before Millbridge really took off. We took some of our little carts over there, and I had a friend that had a shifter cart, and we used the track that day. We were with the Evernhams that particular day, and then Kenny brought his shifter cart. No, he brought a sprint cart, not the small one, but the little bit bigger one.
A mini sprint.
And was running that thing around the track.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if those things will ever race here because this track's just not made for it. And now they are. See, we started something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So those micros,
race,
well, those micros now that, Kyle Larson
Brent
just won the
Cruz.
micro race there on Wednesday last week. And, there was, you name it, that was out there running that race. I mean, there was, I saw there was Haley Deegan, Tyler Reddick.
Brent Cruz.
Brent Cruz finished third. I'm trying to think who else was out there. Yeah, Seabell finished second. All those guys, they're running those full micros. Well, then kids his age, you can just put a restrictor on it. And so it's the same car. And so the cool thing about it is that they can just grow with that car. So it makes a lot of sense for, when you have to keep buying different motors when you're doing the carts, the outlaw carts. With this, you just you put the restrictor on it. When they're ready, you take it off and you let them go.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Training wheels.
Brent Cruz is out there. That kid is phenomenal. He's 13 years old, and he's won 410 sprint car races already. The kid is phenomenal. We can only hope that we can keep him on dirt, but I'm sure that they'll end up stealing him to the stock car side of things. So
Yeah, probably so.
yeah.
All right. And speaking of stock car side of things, Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started, like where you were born and raised and all that kind of stuff?
So I'm from Anderson, Indiana, kind of a famous short track right there, Anderson Speedway, high bank, quarter-mile asphalt oval. And not too far, right, 25 minutes up the road, Winchester Speedway, a high bank, half-mile oval. And then we also had, when I was real young, Muncie had a pretty good banked quarter-mile track as well. And we had Mount Lawn, which was a shorter flat track, but then you could drive an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes and be at Salem Speedway, which is another really famous high-banked asphalt oval. So there was a lot of really good, cool tracks around my hometown. And as much as Indianapolis and Indiana, as much as that was a hotbed for open wheel and sprint cars and midget and that type of racing, I was just always drawn to the stock cars right off the bat because my uncle had built a sportsman car that he ran out at Anderson Speedway. So from the time I was probably Colt's age, I'd ride my bike up the road to his house after school and work on that thing, and he'd take me to the track with him every week. So that's kind of how I got involved and grew my love for the sport.
I know we were talking about Ashbrenner earlier. Did you know him up there?
I didn't know him back then, no.
Okay. Because I know he came down here to get into NASCAR too. There's kind of a wave of people that moved down from up there around the mid-90s.
I met him very early on in my career. I remember he worked for Dave Marcus forever.
Yeah.
And I was working on that Jasper Motorsports team, the 77 back then. And we'd be always around each other in the garage area. And he was always doing tires for Dave Marcus. So
did you know Dan Bagley over Jasper? Anyway.
Dan Bagley. No.
Yeah. He was an engine guy.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But so, all right. So then what brought you into Indiana? You got into stock cars. And
so, like I said, I went with my uncle a lot. And then there was a local driver, Brian Reevely, who was kind of like the local champion, hot shoe, right? The next up and comer. He was a young guy and he won a lot of the late model races, and that kind of earned him a ASA ride. So I went with him. We ran a season of ASA. I started changing tires then, kind of picked that up, thought that was something cool that I wanted to do. Did that with him for a while, and then after the ASA season, it just kind of fizzled out, and we built a car to go to NASCAR Slim Jim All Pro Series. It was back then. We went and did that part-time. And then he just kind of decided he wanted to stay around home, didn't want to travel as much. So the group I was working for put Jeff Fultz in the car, which he ended up, I think he holds the record for the most poles and wins
He probably
in the
holds a
All-Pro
lot of
Series.
records for a lot of things.
A lot of other records that we won't bring
Some
up,
we can talk about and some we can't.
But he became the driver, and I worked with him while still in Indiana. We ran the All-Pro Series for I did that for 2 years, and then I decided I wanted to try and make racing a real career. That was 1997. I decided to move down south and see if I could get a job.
Dang, you really are old.
Watch yourself.
Yes. Well, in 97, yeah. You weren't even thought
Says
about
this
then.
guy, yeah.
So just a quick note, Chris Graham says, hi from Texas. Great to see you online. Enjoy seeing you at Devil's Bowl.
Yeah, we just saw them a couple weeks ago. We just went to
Who?
Devil's Bowl. Chris Graham. We saw him and his wife and his son.
So how was Devil's Bowl?
That's my home track. That's where my dad, my dad was track champion there, and so that's where I grew
I
up.
got to get on top of the trailer.
Nice.
Neither one of them had ever been there before, so the World of Outlaws only run there once this year. So we just took them back, and we got to see a lot of family and friends that couldn't make it for my dad's memorial service here, just kind of on short notice. So it was just good to go and see everyone, and just kind of go back home to Texas and everything. So it was a good race. It was fun. It was. We wanted Sheldon to win. He's our family car, but if the 17 couldn't win, it was appropriate that the 19 won that night. So
I thought it was
that
an
was my
ironic
dad's
fit,
number
yeah.
was 19. So Brent Marks, which is an independent family-owned car, and so it was nice that the 19 family-owned car won that night. So
Yeah. All right. So then when you got down here, you went to work. Where was your first team?
So the very first paying gig I got, me and one other guy that worked on the All-Pro car with me, we both came down here and we had like $2,000 in our pocket. We said, okay, we didn't have any really solid connections or job offers or anything. We said, we'll move down here, see if we can make it work. We'll either run out of money and have to come home, or we'll have a job and we'll take it from there. Donnie Allison had partnered up with a guy at the time, had a truck series team, and they were wanting to put a young kid, Blake Bainbridge was his name. He's actually done shocks, ended up doing shocks and working for Stephen Wallace for a long time, crew chief Tim. But he was like 15 years old at the time, back before there was an age limit, right? So I think we got a job for him making $100 a day cash or something. We went and worked in the shop, got the truck ready. We went and ran. I think our first race was at IRP or something like that. And then I did that for 2 races. And then I got through an acquaintance from my hometown, Terry Wooten, had been a crew chief down here, and he was from my hometown area there. And he put in a word with the Mark Hara over there at Jasper Motorsports, and I got hired on their cup team. So.
Okay. IRP was a tough track to go to for the first race, right? Because you had to keep everything outside, or
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
move everything inside. Yeah.
It's in the middle of the hot Midwest summer. You know, it's sweat your guts out, and it's it's not easy to do. But that was considered my home track too, so it was kind of cool to come back and do that. Yeah,
sure.
So.
Yeah, and get paid.
And get paid.
$100. All right.
Did you ever win there? No, because your
never.
2 cars wrecked each other. Or
Should have
banged
won
off of each
several
other.
times with Biffle and Carl, and
yeah.
I just never could pick up the win there in the Busch Series. So
Yeah. So you worked at Jasper, and then how many years did you stay there?
I think I worked there 3 years. Then I went to Base Motorsports.
I remember the name.
Base, yeah, which Randy LaJoy was the champion there, and then he had left. I worked for Tony Raines. I was Tony Raines' car chief on the 33 Alka-Seltzer and Bear Aspirin car. I did that for 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Was the Kleenex car,
That was right before, so that was, Randy LaJoy was in the Phenolube car, and Tim Fita was there in the Kleenex car the year before I went there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had, I think that year Tony was the only full-time car, and then the next year, actually, that's when Chad Little came back and ran in the Busch Series, if you remember that. He did the 74 car.
After the 95, after the 7. God,
I know, right?
Where'd I get
There's so
95
many
from? I think I was thinking about that. Yeah. After I was thinking the John Deere car after that.
Yeah,
after that, maybe.
97 John Deere car. That's what he drove.
Yeah, okay,
at
I guess
Roush,
it was. All right.
And he had sat out a couple years, hadn't did anything, and they picked him back up, and he came ran the Busch Series there for them. So
Okay.
did that. Then I tried to, I'm wanting to move up. I went to RCR. It was 2001. It was the year they were starting the America Online car, which was slated to be Harvick, and then Dale Sr. passed away, so Harvick had to go fill in the Goodwrench seat. So then they hired Harvick had run the year before a few Cup races, preparing for that, and then they hired Jeff Green to come in and drive that number 30 AOL car. So I went to work on that car. It was only for a year. I was changing tires and working on the car. We did that for a year, and then it's kind of when the whole pit crew thing was changing and evolving, and Richard made the decision that you were either a pit crew guy or you were a road crew guy. He wanted the pit crew to be at home during the week and get more rest and more practice and focus. So I wasn't ready to just pick one or the other. I like doing both, and also it was going to be a pay cut, right? Because I was getting crew money
Big
and
pay
pit
cut.
crew money. So I chose to move on and do something else at that point. So actually went back to work for Jeff Foltz at that point. He was just running for some local guys. We built an ARC car and a Busch car and went and ran a few races. Did that, and then AJ Foyt, I think, come somewhere in there after that. Setup guy and shop foreman for them. And then he was kind of fizzling out and shutting down.
Was that the one in Mooresville?
Yeah, when he was right there off of Timber Road.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Larry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Larry was
115.
driving.
Yeah. Okay.
And they were kind of winding down. And then I went to,
You went to Gibbs at some point with Bobby.
yep, did a season at Gibbs with Bobby Labonte. That's my only Cup victory was with Bobby in the interstate car there at Atlanta. So
Which
that
is
was
cool because then you worked
Yep.
with him at SRX.
Yep,
That came full circle.
that was kind of cool. Yep,
And Biffle
Biffle.
from your Roush days.
And I had some messages into Carl, but he declined me
Carl
again.
won't come out to do
thought,
it.
I thought maybe we might yank him
Come on,
out
Carl.
to come run a dirt race in his home state, but
Yes.
he thought about it for a minute and then said
yeah.
no.
That would be great, though,
Oh,
wouldn't it?
man.
Get him back over
He
there.
was fun. He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Even if he'll just come to the race, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
If we could just get him to come out to Peevely.
Yep.
Maybe Cousin Kenny can drag him out. Maybe Schrader can get him there.
Yeah, maybe. Tell him I said hello. I was his first engine builder in the Cup Series. So when he started over there, and then we were, let's see, he gave me his phone number and said, give me a call. We'll go to lunch sometime, whatever. So I called him, I think, after he won maybe his first race or whatever, and then ended up, I don't know, fizzled away, whatever. And then he ended up moving on.
Yeah.
As did the others.
He got very popular very quick, and the demands for his time picked up, I'm sure. So that's how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, then he went from you to him if he left.
But yeah, we won races the same week. I believe he won his first Busch Series race and the Cup race the same weekend at Atlanta. So that was cool.
You were his car chief for
Yep.
how long on the Roush?
Just a year. He went over to the 60 car next year, and then Biffle came back to run the 16, the car I was on. So
Yeah. He went to the 60, and then he won a championship.
yep,
So
we won 5 races that year his rookie year, and probably should have won 7, 8, or 9 if it hadn't been for pit strategy and a few little things. But yeah, it was pretty. I think people saw that first year how special he was going to be. So.
yeah.
You went back and
That's for
forth
sure.
with Truex the whole time with the Chance 2 car.
Yeah, he's a good one. So, but I think he's done. I guess maybe because it has something to do with his wife does the with the brain.
Yeah, she's a
surgery or
doctor.
something.
I think she's a pediatrician, if I'm not.
But she has
but
she
yeah,
has.
She
I think
has a lot
she's-
of.
She has extra
Neurosurgery
training
kind
with
of
the
stuff.
neurosurgery and stuff. I think, yeah, absolutely.
So that's probably a big influence right there.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some people say, he was bought out. He left because of the money and all this stuff. I mean, you hear that stuff too. I think it's
There's
more
always
of the
rumors.
I think it was more of the he didn't want to die. I mean, he wanted, that's it.
He wanted to see his kids grow up.
Quality
He
of
wanted to be
life,
part of
yep.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he'd already accomplished a good bit. I mean, winning races, whatever. So how was your career? How many race teams have you worked for so far? Colts?
Two.
Two. There you go.
I guess you've technically raced for 3, but 2. You raced for McKenna too. You ran kart nationals for McKenna Hassey.
Who's the other one, Bryson?
Well, our team, our family
Hello.
team.
What
happened to Dad? Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when he built your cars?
Yeah. How quickly we forget. But I'll tell you one thing though, what you need to remember is you need to try to remember everything that you ever learned, because everything that you learn is going to make you that much better. You know, the more experience that you get, and always listen to your parents, because they've already been there, done that. So whether you disagree with them or not, you got to listen and do what they tell you. Yeah, because they know. So I remember doing that, thinking my parents don't know what they're talking about. I'll pitch my little fits and whatever.
Sometimes they really don't, though.
Well, see, that's where you're wrong. Years later, you find out, you know what? They were right.
Yeah.
They were just trying to save me from going through the stuff that they'd already went through, and to save me some time. So, yeah. And another thing is read. Read all the time. If you can learn something that somebody else has already learned 30 years ahead of you, you're that much further ahead of people. So, there you go.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Some good pointers.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being on the show. We'll see you later. I'm just kidding.
He's not afraid to talk to people, so I feel like
Yes.
that's a pretty good accomplishment. You know, most
Yeah,
kids his
for sure.
age will pretty much clam up and won't talk. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's just talking to adults, you know, just being able to carry on a conversation, I'm pretty proud of that. So.
Yeah. Well,
From Papa.
yeah, there you go. And that you brought up a good point right there, because that's from being around other adults like your mom and your dad and your grandfather, and you build that trust and knowing how communication, which is extremely important. Yeah.
And I think now he's starting to realize that some of these people that he's able to be around, that I think he's starting to get how really cool that is. You know, I mean, I worked for Danica Patrick for 7 years, so I don't think he really understood that at the point that I did it. But I mean, he went to her very last Indy 500. I
Like
mean,
at Devil's Bowl, this kid walked up to Sheldon's trailer and stood there for like 30 minutes just to finally get like a card signed or something.
Yes.
and Colt took him up there. Didn't you? Is that the one that you ended up taking him up there and getting Sheldon to take a picture with him and get his autograph? Yeah. So
Just
he
like,
went and helped him out. He was his agent that
2
night.
weeks ago, Kenny Wallace just showed up at Millbridge and came over and went right over to Colt and asking him how his night was going, his racing. He's standing there talking to me, and all these people are standing there wanting their picture with Kenny. And Kenny just wanted to stand there and talk racing with Colt. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, just think about it. In 20 years from now, whatever, you'll be doing like your parents are doing on here, talking about this stuff that the experiences that you had over the years, right? And then your kid will be telling you you're old.
Well, and like SRX last summer, I mean, you were just watching one of the recap videos, and was it him and Elio?
Yeah.
He got his picture with Elio
Him hanging out,
a
talking
couple
to
weeks
Elio.
after the Indy 500, and they took one picture together. Colt had his own phone. He walked up there and took a selfie with Elio, and then Elio said, "Wait, let's take another one." And he said, "Hold up the 4." And so then he took another one. So, I mean, he had just won his 4th Indy 500. So I told him, I said, you know, do you know how cool that is that you just got to stand there and do that with him?
Yeah.
So. But now
Very
when
cool.
Elio sees him, you know, he walks up, gives him knuckles, says, "How you doing, buddy?" You know, checks him out and stuff, and then keeps on going. So
There you go. There's you another story, another memorable story. Do y'all know Natalie Decker?
yeah, he was.
I worked on her truck, a couple times when I was at Nice.
Oh, okay. Well, she's been on the show. Yeah, we had her and Amy and Chuck, and it was a great time.
Yeah,
She's
that's a fun
very
group.
good. Yeah. We went go-kart racing over at K1
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
the day before. Well, I don't know if you call it racing. I was racing for a little while until she come up behind me and just took me
Spun
right
him
out. Yeah, it didn't take much to take me out. I mean, I always thought, man, I'm fast. I'm doing really good. I'm running in second place. And all of a sudden, just, whoop, what just happened? And I see this blonde hair hanging out of a helmet going, flapping. Yeah, so she went on to win.
Oh, man.
So the next day I had her on the show, and I said, "Did you mean to spin me out?" And she said, "Yes."
Yeah.
She started in the rear for a reason. She just wanted to have fun picking everybody off one at a time. She's like, "That's the only way
Absolutely.
you can pass there." That's what she said. So
To start out.
Yeah,
back.
if you start out in the
Remember that,
front,
Bryson?
you just take off from people and you don't. Yeah.
I bet she had a bunch of laps around that place, though.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they were pretty seasoned vets. It seemed like when they walked in there, they knew exactly what to do
Yeah.
to get
One of your
everything.
sponsors is right there. Street Side Classics.
Yeah.
Yep, right
They're
beside
right over there,
K1.
Street Side Classics is one of his sponsors on his cart.
All right. Do you go there and thank them personally? Thank you for sponsoring my cart.
Yep. You can go over there and check out the cool cars and then go next door to K1, which you have K1 fire suits, shoes and gloves. So you can go in there and check out their apparel and
He's
stuff
been
too.
asking. He's been wanting to go.
I know. She comes over and she's like, let's ask your dad if we can go to K1 or
His
something.
best friend. They always want to go ride go-karts at K1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's your do you have like a fast time over there?
He hadn't been.
I hadn't been there.
Oh, you want to go? My bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I see
why
what
I've
you're
been
saying.
asking.
He's ran at Victory Lane
Well.
a few times, and what's the other one? Where the banquet was at?
The pit.
Oh, no, the
Or
one
the pit.
that Victory
yeah, Victory
Lane
Lane
and then
is
down
and
in
the pit. Yeah. But we haven't been to K1 yet, so we
The
gotta get
pit
him over.
getting pretty good at.
There you go. There was one in Charlotte that was it Lance?
Yeah, that's
That's Victory Lane karting.
Okay.
That's where Millbridge has their they have their
Banquets.
awards ceremony there at the end of the year.
Oh,
So
okay.
everybody goes down
Actually-
there. All the dads get in there and do,
We won a
you know, they do the
free-
dad races and stuff. So Kyle Busch was like heading up the dad races last year. I was
Oh.
like, this is going to get dangerous.
Sure.
y'all. This is not going to work out well.
Can imagine.
We won some, what are they called? Like, we got a free, like, thing to get into Millbridge. What are they called?
Door prizes.
Oh yeah, you won a free admission. You're really
Yeah.
excited about that.
All right. Very good. Okay, so Ryan, you were at the so you worked over there at with Roush for a little while too.
Yeah,
in the
I was
16
there.
and-
Yeah, 8 years. So
yeah.
did that quite a while. Then they kept kind of wanting me to go cup racing and move on, and I really didn't. I'd kind of did the Sunday thing with cup teams for a while, and I really liked just the Busch series and the whole vibe and the guys and the racing. I wanted to stay doing that. So I think after Roush, where did I go after Roush?
RWI.
Went
You
to
were Nets
RWI.
for- you were
Yep.
Nets.
Rusty's team, and then unfortunately they kind of lost all the sponsorship at the end of that year, and that shut down. Then I went up to it was NTS Motorsports. It was Bob Newberry had bought out all the equipment, all of Kevin Harvick's old equipment in his shop and stuff. Truck series teams. So I went up there and was truck chief for Ron Hornaday for a year, and then the next year they made me crew chief. And I crew chiefed. I had Brendan Newberry, the owner's son, and then we had Chase Pistone. I crew chief. I kind of was on the rotating truck. I had a bunch of drivers that year.
You're at Hemrick.
And then the following year, Hemrick came in, and I was his crew chief for the rookie season in the trucks there.
Okay.
And then that kind of all fell apart. That shut down.
You were on the Mike Beam plan
Then I went to GMS. Yeah.
from Roush.
No, KBM was in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, you
The
did the
one
KBM
year
year.
when Kyle started an Xfinity team out of KBM, and Monster was the sponsor, and Kyle and Kurt drove it. Mike Beam, they hired him to crew chief it, and of course I had worked with him at Roush, and it was Mike and the same engineer Joey Cohen that we had at Roush, and I car chiefed it, and we went over there and started that whole program. And then after race against him, and to make it all nice and neat and happy, they just took that sponsorship over to Gibbs, and that's where that went. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Beam brought you pretty much everywhere he went. So
Yeah,
then you went to GMS.
Then I went to GMS and started that Xfinity team, and shop foreman there for till that team quit running. And then I went to Nice, crew chief to truck for a year, and had the opportunity to go work with Ray starting this SRX program. So.
And I'm sure you were really excited about that.
I was very excited. I was ready for a change, and just the whole idea of it, the whole premise of it, was exciting to me. Getting to work for Ray, I'd never worked with Ray. I knew him, been around him. Seemed like a really, really great guy. And of course, growing up in Indiana, Jeff Gordon was one of, I was one of the guys I liked, and Ray and him, that duo they were in all the races they won. Ray was kind of always one of my heroes. So the opportunity to go work for him and beside him and kind of start this deal was really appealing and exciting.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Ray was I know seeing him going to the racetracks, and he'd have his briefcase, and he was really serious, and just, he was there to win, and that was it, and he had Jeff Gordon, which was, one of the best ever. And so those days with Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, kind of the competition between the two of them, two completely different fan base.
Yep.
Two completely different drivers. I mean, that right there was probably the best days, I think.
Yeah, that was a good couple of years right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The best times. And then, and of course, you go back to the 70s and all that too, I ain't gonna argue about that, but I'm just saying, those times and those years that was some good racing.
Absolutely.
Really good racing. There's a lot, the cars were good. The racing was good. A lot of colorful drivers in the series. It was a lot of fun. Of course, that was at the peak, the hype.
Yeah. They had personalities and they were allowed to use them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Tracy, do we have any comments?
Just saying super cool and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Suzette does say, can you put his social media handles up if possible?
Yes, absolutely. Yours. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we will.
There you go. Bryson, get on that. Right? You got it?
I got you.
You got it. Yeah, all right. Bryson's on it right now. Hey, I do want to mention right quick, we got one of our sponsors tonight, Swimming Pool and Spa. So Neil Johnson over there at Swimming Pool and Spa, they will, they're putting in pool liners right now, and they'll go out and open up your pool, shock your pool, do all that kind of stuff. And they're here in Statesville, so give Neil a call over there at 704-727-2488. And we got a big spring fling coming up here at the end of the month. It's on April 30th. It's from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. That's on a Saturday. And they're going to have Aiden Sneed Racing. Do you know who that is? Oh. Aiden Sneed.
Yeah.
He races in those sprint cars or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Sounds really familiar.
Yep. I believe he races out in Millbridge too.
Yeah, he does.
Aiden Sneed.
He races in the class above.
So he's good friends with Neil Johnson, and he sponsors his team. So they're going to have that. He's going to be there. And, Gunner, he's a former WWE and TNA superstar wrestler.
Ooh.
Yes, wrestler. Uh-oh. See, when I was a kid growing up in Charlotte, it was wrestling and racing.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all we had. And then we had the four TV stations, depending on which way I turned the TV antenna. And a true story.
Absolutely.
And then we started getting stuff like we got what's the Chicago channel? So I started being able to watch the Cubs. And then the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
So, WGN or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Before that, though, it was always just wrestling, racing. All this local stuff. I knew where the wrestlers lived. They come to the swimming pool where I would hang out.
Yep.
They did. I'd see Ivan Koloff or Nikita. I never could tell them apart. Floating over there at Subtle Swimming Pool.
I tell him the same old stories, and a lot of times we'll sit around and pull up the old wrestling videos on YouTube.
On YouTube, they get down
all the WrestleManias and Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and all them guys.
Yes, it was great. And racing was a little bit like that back in the day,
Absolutely. You let the drivers settle it themselves.
Yeah. I always say they just need to bring it back, just gloves off.
Absolutely.
They said it one time, and then they started fining somebody $50,000 because they were like, I thought you said gloves off.
It's all good till the pit crews get involved. Yeah. That's where the problems happen.
You're right. It is.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're going to have Racing Roots with Hamm is going to be there as well. I'm assuming I'll be broadcasting
on
live,
location.
Probably. Yeah, live on location. So that'll be good. And our buddies Zach Brock and the Good Intentions. They're one of the bands that we've had in here a couple times. They'll be playing there as well. And Wilson's Weenie Wagon will be there serving his weenies.
It sounds like a good time.
It does sound good.
Put
y'all
this
come
on
out. Yeah, y'all come on out. So Wilson's Weenie Wagon. I got a slogan for him, but the one he wants me to use is "No other weenie measures up." That's fine. Yeah, my favorite is the big Wilson.
Yeah,
it's good. So they're they're at 940 Davie Avenue in Statesville.
Home Improvement. Wilson, the neighbor.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Wilson over there, wasn't there, something like that. Yes. Oh,
Take
yeah.
a
So come on
commercial,
out.
Dave.
Get you a free dog and hang out and listen to some great music. And yeah, I got to hold on. Let me find the station ID. So here's the deal. I'm kind of like the producer of all things here on the station. So if it looks like I'm not paying attention, I'm listening. But
I'm impressed you got all this going on with the soundboard and everything.
2 phones, and then I have to switch camera angles. I sent Kenny Wallace a text. I sent him the link to the show to see if maybe he would bite on that. And,
Oh, goodness.
and,
We can call him.
Call in or something. Yeah, we could just call him out of the blue
Might be
and say,
racing
hey.
somewhere.
Yeah, he's very well could be.
Not on a Monday.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, so actually what I'll do is
He's
go
at
ahead
home bugging Miss Kim for sure.
Oh, that's right.
You know he is.
Yes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back to Racing Roots with Hamm.
At Banner Drug, we are proud to say we have been caring for our patients in our community since 1996. Our pharmacy offers a personalized customer service experience you expect from a locally owned store. To help you with your prescription,
safe Christian environment, affordable tuition, quality education, and accepts Opportunity Scholarship.
Get it? Good Easter? Fine.
Real Country 550 and 92.9 WAME Statesville.
All right, and we're back to Racing Roots with Hamm. We got Ryan and Allison McKinney and Colt McKinney, of course. At least we not forget Colt. He's up and
Most
coming.
important part here.
I know, right? Yes.
You're so shy and all.
He did. He just kind of come in, took over the show, and he's the spotlight of the show right now. I got the camera. See, I got a close cam on you. Actually, I got 3 different cameras on you.
How many cameras do you
Takes
have?
3 cameras
Well,
to
I've got 4.
get all that personality.
I meant to work on this one while we were on break because for some reason that one decided it wasn't going to work anymore. But so that's why I moved this one over here to get back in. But yeah, we got Mr. Personality here, Mr. Colt. Yeah, and so this one's on you and this one's on you. Yeah, just so you know. But the thing is, I've noticed about you, you don't get camera shy. You don't. Some people will see me moving this camera like I'm doing right now, and then they just freeze up. They're like. You know what I mean? Like
You mean like me? Like
and yeah, she doesn't.
I want it up in my face.
I used to have it right here because one of our buddies says, "Need more Tracy Cam, and but she says, "Don't put that camera in my face." So okay,
I
fine.
feel like it's going up my brain.
It's on like
It's so
super
close.
up.
Yeah.
Reading your
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's the way that goes. We were just talking about Groucho's Deli and our buddy, Brandon Sutton.
Not leaving without a sandwich. I'm serious.
Yeah, okay, they're open this evening, so yeah.
They're listening. We'll take a delivery.
Yeah.
There you go, Colt. You need to put a sponsor proposal
we need to
together.
work a
You need
deal.
to go ask them. Okay, we'll work on it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, last week after the show, we went to Broad Street Burger, and we got there about 10 till 9 or something.
Yeah, 10 minutes before they were closing.
Actually,
And we think we stayed till about 10. But
I like that
so left
place.
them an extra tip. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good. Very good. They got burgers and chicken and all kind of good stuff. What
It was good of them to take care of you.
It was. Yeah, it was. They were like, well, we got 10 minutes till we close, and we'll leave an extra tip. Yes. So anyway,
In school, we're selling
Yeah.
popcorn and apple juice for like we're learning economy. Is that what it's
Yep,
called?
you're working on economics.
Economics.
Yep.
And they actually make us do like a job application out.
oh really?
Little job
But they're learning at school right now.
Oh.
How to sell.
Well, I guess that's
It said put a
good.
phone number in, so I didn't know. So I just put mom's phone.
Oh, great. I'm going to get
Now
calls
everybody's
from all
gonna
the
call
third
you.
graders at Rocky River
Some apple
Elementary.
juice.
I listened to her. She'll go to CVS and they'll be like, phone number, please.
No, don't give my phone number out right
No, he needs to put 867-5309.
There you go. Yeah. We'll do
704-902.
So you're gonna get a call or text message that says you make the best lunch. Would you send some extra apple juice or something? Yeah.
Extra Skittles, please.
Oh yes, the Skittles.
Okay.
I had Skittles for lunch today.
I know you did.
Yeah. Go figure. Tracy, you want to read some comments?
Oh, honey, let's see.
They're like, please get back on
Jim
topic.
Dooley says,
Yeah.
I think DD needs a free coffee mug.
What?
Ooh.
Oh, is he talking about Dickie? Who's he talking about?
Dickie,
Oh, Dickie Dennis. Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee mug. Yep.
offer
What-
your merch.
Oh yeah, there is some on there. I forgot about that. Sorry, I was thinking
Silly.
Chillbillies, but yeah. Okay.
There hasn't been
Yeah,
any
that's-
comments recently, which is kind of funny.
Okay.
Nobody else is saying anything.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
no.
boy,
They're
still
always
on.
listening.
Speak up.
Yeah. All right. So if you're listening on the radio,
We bored them.
you can.
We bored them all to sleep.
Oh, Suzette McGuire's out in California.
Yes, she listens from California.
Yeah, she says good shot there of Colt. Yeah.
Got
You
that
must see your
camera right
dimple.
there.
You know what? She is a great race fan. She's a big Natalie Decker fan, and let's see who else is she a big fan of? Oh, Brad Keselowski.
Okay. I worked
Right.
with Brad at Junior Motorsports.
Yeah, and Colt McKinney.
I got his.
So you got a new fan.
New
Mom
fan.
has his gloves
Yeah, he gave me his
in
gloves.
cases. Like she's got Armorollas, I think.
Eric's.
Eric's, Brad's, DP's.
Danica's, yes.
Who else? Ryan's.
Dale Jr.'s. I helped Dale Jr. when he decided he wanted to do the bone gloves.
Okay.
He wanted
Yeah.
to try those with the nationwide team at the time. So
looks
he
like
said,
the skeleton.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Those are cool.
So he gave me the first pair. Afterwards, he said, here, you went through all that back and forth with Simpson, so I'll sign them and you can have them. So
Oh, very nice.
after that, I started I was like, if Dale Jr. can part with this glove, so can y'all. So I was
Yeah.
like, I need y'all to give me some gloves. So
Right.
Some merch.
I started framing the ones that the drivers that I worked with. So
Got Ryan's.
Newman's, yep. Ryan Newman, yep.
Very good.
I need some Kenny Wallace gloves, don't I?
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
have to get Herm
Kenny.
to get me some gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, I
day,
feel
I'm
like
gonna
we're
be
missing the
really
most popular gloves. I mean, Juan Pablo Montoya had a guy
that actually put the gloves on
used to put his gloves
Gonzo.
on for him every week.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
When he came over from IndyCar, he would get in the car. He would crawl in the car, and once he was
buckled
in the
up.
car, he had a guy that was not part of the race team. It was his personal guy. Juan would sit in the car, and he would hold his hands out like this out the window of the car, and Gonzo would walk over and would put his gloves on his hands
he was a
that.
boxer.
And
Yeah.
oh my gosh!
Gonzo
You should have seen every
loves-
other driver and every interior guy that I worked with from that point on would literally look at the driver and go, "If you ever do that to me, I'm gonna,
Don't even think about it.
never." And they all tried it at one point. Every
Yeah.
driver would do that to him. They were like, "Nope, not gonna happen."
One day I'm gonna be famous and you're gonna have like 5 pairs of my
Yeah.
racing gloves.
I'm gonna have all kinds of your stuff.
Dickie does say that it becomes quiet when there's interesting people on the show
Oh.
with the feed.
Oh, well, that's
good.
good. That made me feel better. Thank you.
Yeah. Dickie's great. Dickie's a great guy. He's very good at climbing stuff. He was in the Army, jumped out of helicopters and
Oh,
He
that
didn't
type of
jump
stuff.
out of helicopters, he'll tell you.
I'm sorry, Dickie. I know I messed that up again.
He does it every time.
He does it.
You know he's
I do
going
it
to say
at
it.
this point. I do it just to egg him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't care if you were jumping out of stuff or not. That was still dangerous. So thank you for your service.
But I'll tell you what he's.
Hell.
I'll tell you what he's in. We were talking about infamous people. What he's infamous for is if you're at Richmond in 2014 and you saw a guy climb up on the fence sitting on top.
That's him.
That's him.
We waited for you.
I was there at that race.
I was at that race. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, he got put in jail.
Oh.
With that little.
Wait, was it the nationwide race or was it the?
She kept
Cup
calling
race.
that person
It was the cup
dumb.
race. Okay.
She kept calling that person. Like,
It was just
dumb.
because we waited for a while.
Oh yeah, Alan Bestwick.
It was
did.
only at the time.
I got you. Yeah, he held the race up a little bit.
It was just for a hot minute.
You know what? It's historic now. It's,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now it's not.
Wouldn't have been so bad if he'd have remembered his phone.
Yeah, so he forgot his phone. He left it sitting on the seat, you know, when he said hold my beer, and so he sat there and he threw his hands up in the air because he forgot he couldn't take a selfie with Kevin Harvick when he passed by. That's what he wanted.
Oh,
he was going to do this, and then his phone
That was the
down
whole
there.
reason for
So he's
climbing
like,
the fence.
So now
Yeah.
we have to have him with Kevin Harvick to take his picture.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do a
we can
selfie.
make that happen.
There you go, Dickie.
That's not hard.
Oh, that would be a dream come true for him.
Oh, you know who he should have on the
That's
show?
what I need to do.
Cheddar Bob.
Ooh.
That's one person that we should not have told that we were coming here tonight.
Harvick's car chief.
He's Kevin Harvick's car
He's-
chief, Robert Smith.
He's a fun time.
Robert Smith.
But
Yeah.
when your name is Robert Smith and you're from Wisconsin,
Yeah.
then they call you Cheddar Bob because what else is your nickname going to be?
Okay. Yeah.
But Cheddar Bob can definitely make that picture happen.
Oh, good.
I don't know. Are you allowed on the grounds of Richmond Raceway, or is that a negative?
He could be on the outside.
Across the street.
Okay.
Yes.
Or what
Yeah.
else? What's the next closest track to Richmond?
Millbridge.
Well,
we
we-
can just let him climb the fence at Millbridge when Harvick's there watching Keelan race sometime.
That's true too. Yes.
As long
Take
as
him
he
over to
has
Millbridge.
permission, he won't get banned from there.
We will work on that.
I feel like he should come to the SRX race at South Boston.
Ooh.
It's close.
There you go.
You should come there.
That's it, Dickie.
Maybe you can let him climb something at South Boston. That could be really great for SRX TV.
We've
I
got
don't
a
know.
lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
banners to
Just
hang
saying.
each week when we roll in, so
Yeah.
he can climb the fences all he wants.
He corrected you. He
That
said
is true. He can hang the
repelled.
banners. That's right.
He
Yes.
repelled?
corrected you. He repelled, David. He repelled.
Yeah, he
Oh,
repelled.
okay.
Yeah,
He
that's
didn't.
it.
He didn't jump.
Yeah.
He repelled.
Yeah. So that's smarter. I know. I agree. Because you're actually holding on to something versus just jumping out.
Well, Harvick
Nothing.
won't be at the SRX races, but Newman will. And so if he wants his picture with Newman at the SRX race at South Boston, I can make that happen.
Yeah. Well, he is a
Just come to our
huge
house in a weekend.
Harvick fan. His Facebook page is Fear the Four. Yeah.
Oh,
So, and he's always posting about Harvick. So, yeah, we should make that happen. You know, all the sacrifices he did,
Yeah.
the money that he spent, and the time
Yeah,
in
the
jail and all
jail
that
time.
stuff. Yeah.
Man.
Could at least get a
I think it
picture
was 40
with him.
days.
really?
Shoot, man, we
40
can make that
days.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's who
That
you
seems
just
a little
played
harsh.
baseball this
And a lot
weekend
of money.
against Kevin Harvick's manager, Josh Jones. He just played baseball this weekend against Josh's son.
Okay. All right.
And then on his baseball team is Brett Griffin. That's the spotter that's on Door Bumper Clear. That's the podcast.
okay.
One of the Dell Jr. podcasts that they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So
I've seen
those
him.
guys, all the spotters, they come to watch the baseball team. And so we had Brett Griffin, he spots for Colleague now. Freddie spots for Bubba Wallace. And then I don't know who Dan spots for now.
brought two
but
of
they
my
were all
teammates.
sitting around talking about how they were going to freeze at Martinsville later that night, how they weren't going to get home till 3 a.m.,
They were
how
not
they
looking
didn't want to
forward
go, how they were all trying to figure out how they could just stay and watch baseball and not go to Martinsville that night. So
Oh,
This
yeah.
weekend, Freddie,
They got home at
he
2:30.
brought a card signed by Bubba Wallace to 3 of my teammates, and I'm like, where's mine?
Right?
I think Freddie thought you could get your own is probably what it was, but
Yeah.
you need to take that up with
Going to
Freddie
NASCAR
directly.
races?
So Dickie says South Boston
He
is.
said- Yeah, he does say South Boston is really close.
Is it close?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dickie, you should come. We want to meet you.
Yep.
All 3 of us will be there.
That's cool.
We'll work that out.
Yeah. And Suzette says that you have
Actually, all 4.
We'll bring your coffee
All
cup
4.
You can read that.
if they'll give it up. We'll make that happen.
Read what Suzanne says.
Oh yeah, Suzette McGuire says a fan of. Oh no, I'm reading the wrong one. Yes, was that the right one?
That's fine. Yeah.
It says a fan of Amber Balkan too, David. Hint, hint. She's a great guest as well.
Okay.
And then she also
Work on
says,
that.
yes, Colt has gained a new fan here in California. All great stories, and she says she's enjoying it. So.
Wow.
There you go.
Awesome.
What part of California is she in? Do you know what track she's close to?
It seems like she's Sonoma maybe. I don't know if she's
I thought you said it. I'm going to say it wrong.
Maybe it's
not
Southern.
Eldora.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
No.
I bet she'll answer us in a minute, though.
She will.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's a song, You Got a Friend in California, Merle Haggard song.
Oh.
There you go.
Sure misses you. So anyway, you got a friend in California now. So,
I like it.
Making fans everywhere.
Dickie says he has sweaty eyes now.
y'all got him excited. Yeah, very cool. We need to make that happen. And I'll come along and do some video of it too.
There you go. You can be the cameraman.
Yeah, Jim Dooley says, "See, Dickie, DD, everyone knows you." Yeah, it's funny because every time I have someone in here, they're always like, even Doug Yates was here, and he's like, "That's him. That's my hero."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Who would have thought? But yeah.
I
Good
mean,
stuff.
yeah, I think any person that's been a NASCAR fan for any length of time remembers that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got my picture taken with Charlie Daniels that night.
Oh,
That's
did you
my
really?
only other thing that's like super memorable that they have. That was.
Yeah. All right. All right. So very good. When's the next race? SRX.
Season kicks off June 18th is our first race. Pensacola, Florida at Five Flags Speedway.
Okay.
And then we'll race the next 5 weekends after that, right in a row.
Oh.
South Boston's next, right?
Yep.
After
6
that?
weeks, every Saturday night, live on CBS. So don't miss one.
8 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern.
I won't miss it. That's good. That's a good time. I like South Boston. I was there many years ago. 2001.
Fun little track. Probably the best fried bologna sandwich you can get in the country, maybe.
David loves
I don't remember if
fried
I had
bologna.
one. I do, yes.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I just don't remember if I had one. I guess if I had one, I would remember.
He even made a jingle about fried bologna.
Oh, I did, yes. Fried, yeah. JB's is the place to be.
Da-da-da.
Fried bologna is just right for me. Look at that bologna, so golden fried. Give me some French fried taters on the side.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And I have my harmonica.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. So, yeah. They play that for 2 years in a row out here for our local JB's footlong hot dog place.
That's awesome.
So there you go.
Multi-talent.
That's it. Yeah. Dickie says Riverside. So I have 20. Oh, yeah. That must be where Riverside
still
was out in
waiting to hear
California.
what-
It's not there anymore.
What track Suzette's from?
Well,
Or
yeah.
close to.
Maybe that's what he means. She was closest
That's
to
the
Riverside.
closest out there.
Yeah. Or we used to be Riverside. I've been
I
by it,
have
but I
to-
think it's like a shopping mall or something now.
I need to equate it to what dirt track she's closest to.
Yeah. There you go. Dirt track's cool. Yep. Have y'all been down to, let's see, Volusia Speedway down in Florida?
Oh, yeah.
That's where my
I don't
buddy
think
Scott
I
lives right
have.
near there.
No, you haven't been to Volusia. You haven't made that one.
Okay.
I've been on iRacing.
So I
On
was
iRacing,
right.
you've run it. Yes,
Thank
you
you.
have.
Oh, yeah. On iRacing. That's good stuff. I was right about what track she was near.
Fontana, it
Yeah.
says.
Yeah. I mean, Sonoma, Fontana, whatever.
Yep.
I don't
Same
know.
thing.
I still want to go to Sonoma.
Then she's close to Paris. She's close to Paris Auto Speedway. That's out there.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. It's not Paris like Paris, France. It's PERRIS. It's where they run the Oval Nationals.
yeah.
It's a dirt track out there.
Okay.
So,
All right. There's Paris, Tennessee, too, but that's not. It's spelled different. All right. Yes. South El Monte, called Fontana. El Monte,
Called
California.
Fontana, I guess.
Or California. Yeah. 45 minutes away.
Huh.
So there. Yeah. Okay. So you're, when you're competition director, right, of SRX. So what is your job when you're out there?
So, I mean, I guess it's probably kind of a little different than competition director of a NASCAR team or something, right? Basically, I was the first hire. I was the first guy Ray hired, and my responsibility was everything race cars, right? So we had he had signed up 2 companies, 2 contracts before I got hired. That was Ilmore Engineering to do the engines and Fury to build our chassis, Fury race cars.
Tony Uri and Junior and Seniors
Yep.
deal?
Yep, and Jeff Fultz and Darius Gralla.
Okay.
So we had a chassis, just a rolling bare chassis with some suspension on it, and then I pretty much worked with vendors and companies and partners to develop, the SRX car, what components would go on it, and just kind of build the vision he had in his head of what this thing would be. So You know,
It was a bare race shop.
Yeah, I walked in, probably February.
It was a building.
There was 2 toolboxes and 1 Miller welder in there, and that's all that was in the whole building. So everything from the ground up, from
And a drawing
workbenches,
of what the car was
and,
supposed to look
and,
like.
Atlas Copco came in and put this awesome air compressor system in and all that, and just had to get the equipment and hire employees.
Yeah.
And get the blueprint of this race car figured out, and then get 15 more of them built, and all done by June, and get some testing done in there before we go. So we got the gears and the setups and everything figured out. So kind of all of that.
Put in a lot of hours.
Luckily, our house is about 3 miles from the SRX shop
Oh.
because
A
that's the
lot
only
of
way I
hours.
wasn't worried about him driving home at like 2 and 3 in the morning.
We were lucky.
I'm sure.
We had a really great group that we assembled that just was really dedicated and put in the hours and the work, and just a bunch of
Real
good
racers.
old school racers that just really made it happen. And that's the only way I think we pulled off everything we pulled off in that amount of time.
I was trying to think of some of the people that went on and did that. I know Tony Uri Jr. did, and Jeff Hammond. Did Senior get involved in that too, or no?
Senior did not come do anything with us last year. He's going to come help us out this year.
Okay.
But yeah, we had Tony Uri Jr. came. We had Mike Beam, Todd Parrott, who ended up winning the crew chief portion of that. And then the other one was, how we have the local driver who's local to the area. We had a local kind of crew chief as well. That would be per track for that race.
Okay.
We had Guy Forbrook at Knoxville. We had
Tim Clausen was at
Tim Clausen
IRP.
at IRP.
He's well known in the USAC world.
The first race at Stafford, it was the modified guy, his brother. I'm drawing a blank.
That's not my world.
Yeah, we had Ricky
You don't think
Turner
about it
did
after you're not thinking about it.
I know.
And
Yeah, Ricky Turner, that was cool at Nashville. He did
Slinger
that
Scott
with Chase.
Hansen, who I remember we raced against some in the late models, ASA and All Pro back in the day. The old driver Scott Hansen, so that was cool. But yeah, kind of a great just kind of mix. So it brought some of those guys back and gave them some attention as well as the local drivers as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned it's like the IROC series sort of, and so all the cars. Well, it's almost like NASCAR's in a way like that now, but all the engines are done by Elmore still?
Yep.
Okay. So the cars and the engines are all the same.
Every car's,
okay.
I mean, as identical as you can possibly be. We own all the cars. We prep all the cars, so they're, nobody gets an advantage or a certain part here or there or can manipulate anything. Every car is prepared and set up by us. And the crew chiefs have a very small toolbox of changes they can make for the races. They can do like a couple rounds of wedge one way or the other. They can move the track bar a little bit. They can do some air pressure or a spring rubber, and that's about it. Everything else is they're handed
to the
They
driver.
got to race.
Okay.
What they were doing.
Elbows up, boys. Let's go.
Well, that
And girls.
Yeah. To me, that sounds like it actually would be more fun because it's not as much pressure because you don't have all these different variables and decisions. It's like, you can make these small adjustments but it's mostly up to the driver. It sounds like
It is, yeah. And I think every driver has a little bit of different driving style. They might charge the corner harder, so they might want that little bit of air pressure or spring rubber in the right rear, where maybe one guy doesn't charge the corner as hard, but he's backing the gas quick or something. He might want something in the left rear or whatever. So that just gives them enough adjustment to kind of tailor the car to their driving style, but nothing that is just a huge change or a directed advantage.
All right. Well, it sounds like you made the right decision. Jump over to that.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was a ball. It was a ball. And looking forward to this year. We got a really, really stellar group of drivers lined up for this year. Good group of tracks. So really looking forward to it.
What is Jeff Hammond's role in that series?
So last year, he was just one of the what we called celebrity crew chiefs or whatever, that we brought in to do that portion of it just for the race. Like I said, they didn't really the way the deal was structured. They showed up for the practice day and the race. They didn't really. It's not like they were in the shop working on our cars and preparing. That's because you know how these old crew chiefs are. You let them in the shop, you let them in the car alone, somebody's going to try and get an advantage on something. So, yeah, that's just kind of how we did it. And it'll be a different group for this year. So
yeah.
And they were randomly assigned their drivers.
Yeah, each
there was
week.
Drew.
Oh,
so they were assigned 4 drivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they got their random assignment. They got them when they got to the racetrack, and
it was cool for them.
You might get somebody you'd worked with before, or maybe not.
Work with different drivers. So
I like that, and I guess that was mostly maybe Tony Stewart's idea to do it that way.
It was Ray's, I think, wasn't it?
Ray's and Tony's. Yeah, Ray had a big part in that. I think he just thought that was a little added extra element, to kind of throw in there to it. So
yeah. All right. Well, I was kind of surprised when I saw Tony in the announcer booth for NASCAR races. I just was.
Yeah.
But he did a good job.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it took him a lot of convincing to get him to do it. He had done it a couple of times back when he still drove because he was already at the track, know?
Right.
But I think it took him a while to convince him to do it again. So, But
I wonder if he had to take an anger management course to do that. No, I'm kidding. You remember back in the day, he had to go.
For sure.
They had to send him to the anger management stuff.
For sure.
No, he's pretty relaxed and chilled out, and he's too busy nowadays to get mad. He's got a lot going.
He's married. I mean, no one ever thought we'd see that happen.
Owns an NHRA team,
drag racing team.
Yeah,
as well as doing everything else. So.
He's good for motorsports.
He's been learning to drive that drag car.
He's good for motorsports, definitely.
Yeah.
He and Ray have both mellowed big time.
Yeah.
I don't know if
he's. Tony kind of got a bad rap because, all these drivers are under a microscope. So anytime they do have a temper flare, right, it's always caught on film
cameras
or something.
Cameras there.
He's a racer. He wants to win, and tempers can flare. But
passionate.
If you know Tony, he is one of the nicest, sweetest, caring people. I know it's a lot of people out there will not believe what I'm saying. But the things Tony Stewart has done for the sport, not just the sport, but just individuals that he's been around and knows.
He doesn't want anybody to know about.
That nobody knows about, and he don't want them to know about. But I promise you, genuinely, Tony Stewart is a great human being.
Yeah,
so.
Very good.
He's a big teddy bear. He just doesn't want everybody to know that.
Sure. I could see that. I never had any issues with Tony at all. I mean, I think like I said, he's great for motorsports all around. He's a racer, obviously.
Yeah.
He likes all forms of racing, which is great. So do you have a favorite Sterling Marlin story that you want to tell? We were talking about that. Is that one good enough for radio or not?
Sterling. I mean, I was a Sterling fan, obviously, just growing up. He's just highly entertaining. But my very first job in NASCAR was at Ganassi, and when I went to work there, he was in the Coors Light car, and we were at Martinsville the year that the track started to come up, and they finally threw a red, and they stopped all the cars on the backstretch, and it was so hot. They made the drivers sit there for a long time at first. They brought them water and handed them water and made them sit there for a long time, and he was on the radio, and finally they let him out of the car and told him to stay close, though. They were trying to see how quick they could get this thing fixed. And so he was sitting on the backstretch wall, right behind the garage area there. And they would only let a couple crew members go over to each one of them. And he saw me standing in the garage area, and he said, "Allison, come here." And I was like, "What does he want me for?" And I walked over there, and he said, "Watch this." And he turned around and he just made the motion to the backstretch grandstands acted like he was lifting his shirt. And 4 women in different parts of that grandstands lifted their shirt and flashed him. And And I mean, right then, security started coming down and went and got all 4 of them and escorted them all out. And I said, well, Sterling, you got them all thrown out. And he goes, it was worth it.
It was worth it.
So who knows? I mean, I'm sure they got something for it later on. But
I never worked with Sterling to have a story working with him, but I mean, I still remember to this day, the one thing when you say Sterling Martin that sticks out in my mind is when he got out of his car
at
Daytona on the backstretch and was trying to pull and fix his fender. I mean, that was classic right there. That was awesome.
Yeah, I asked him about that, and he said that, well, he's like, I didn't have any choice. He said I was going to cut a tire if I didn't.
Yeah.
So it was like I just thought I'd just
Didn't
get out
have
and
nothing
do
to
it.
lose at that
Sometimes
point.
it's better to try it and ask for forgiveness later.
That's right. That's it. So he did. Joey, you got any Sterling Martin stories that you could tell? You probably got some that you could not tell
No, there's a lot
on the radio.
you can't tell.
You come on over here, Joey. Come on, don't be. You're not.
Get over here.
Whole show.
You're not shy. I know that.
Limo driver tonight.
Yeah, well, you're here though.
McKinney's up here, but yeah, they're good friends, and I just wanted to come check the show out.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Well, this morning, but yeah.
We played softball back in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah.
All the NASCAR teams had.
Ooh, in the
different
NASCAR
teams.
league?
Yeah. So
I played in that league that first year on
Did
that
you?
Ganassi team.
Yeah.
And one of the guys
Oh.
in the shop told me, they said, you don't play in this league. Because they said, does anybody play softball? They just asked in the
Wait a
shop
minute,
one
I
day.
played in
and
that
I said,
league.
I do.
Yeah.
And they said, you don't play in this league. And I said, why not? And they said, this league's serious. And I said, yeah, I play softball. And they said, what position do you play? I said, third. And they said, nope, not in this league. Mike Brill told me that. Not in this league, you
No.
don't. He said, so what position do you play? I said, third. He said, where are you from? I said, Texas.
Oh,
He was
that
like,
explained it a lot, right? Yes.
But the same league you guys played in that the DEI team
Yeah, the
had all
DEI team was stacked.
Yeah, well, they
Yeah.
all a bunch of the Canapolis Intimidators worked for Dale Senior on the farm, so they were considered employees.
yeah.
Do y'all remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
I just did.
A lot of home runs out
You
of that
didn't know
team.
that's why?
I didn't realize that was why. I
Yeah.
just remembered the farm boys
Yeah.
coming out and playing softball. Imagine that. Yes. But yeah, this was in '98. We had I don't know if you call it exhibition game or whatever. I remember they put me against Jason Jarrett in a home run competition for some reason, whatever. And then my ball went to furthest, but he ended up winning because he was the celebrity, kind of thing. So whatever. I'm not bitter. I don't hold any grudges. Yeah, that kind of
David
stuff.
always gets the short end.
Yeah, because I'm just a nice guy,
Oh, yeah.
Right, Joey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I enjoyed your show last week with Smitty and the Children's Dream Racer. That was awesome. Awesome show. And Smitty's got a big heart for the children, and
yeah.
appreciate what y'all did for him last week.
Yeah, that's where we went with him out to eat after the show and over at Broad Street Burger, and good guy. I mean, it's been 20 years since I saw him. But yeah, the Children's Dream Racers, I mean, that is such an awesome deal. He has these cars. Well, it's like, they look like cars. They're roll cages, whatever. And then you build them and you make them to where the kids, one side's open, and you get in there and they play the PlayStation. Like, I guess now it's the PlayStation 4.
Right.
And this got the screen, and you can see the videos of the 5's coming out.
It's got their oxygen tanks and their IV racks.
Place to hang that stuff.
Wow.
And they sit there and you watch the videos of that, and your eyes are gonna get sweaty, I think is what Dickie Dennis says.
Your eyes are get sweaty.
Can't help it. But man, it's so great. The change in the kids whenever they sit in the car and do that. It's
Wow,
really,
we
very
need
awesome.
to put him in touch with Martin and Sherry, with Truex and with Sherry, because they have their wing of the hospital downtown. So, and then they're building right now. They're building a kids urgent care at the hospital in Huntersville. So, because there's no urgent care that is actually for children for pediatrics that is anywhere up near the lake area. So if you have a kid that's actually in distress, you either have to take them to a regular emergency that doesn't have the same equipment that can actually treat a kid, or you take them all the way down to Charlotte. So they actually just broke ground and everything to do that. They're adding it onto the hospital there by Gibbs. It's there at exit 23. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
I'll have to put them in touch, though.
Rick
That would
Kendrick
be
and Jimmy
amazing
Johnson
to
had
have.
placed 4 of them in Children of the Bean, and Rock Group 3 doors down. I think they bought somewhere close to 9 of them, and David Rudiman. So there's been a lot of NASCAR involvement. And, we'd love to get hooked up with them as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Joey was showing me some really cool pictures that he had in his shop there with Tim Richmond. And who else was you with? You were with a bunch of people
I worked
back in the
for
day.
Bobby and Davey Allison for 10 years. A guy named Frank Plessinger that owned Hagerstown Speedway. He owned the team, and myself and a guy named Reds Cagle and Mike Basinger. We all built and maintained those cars and traveled around the country for about 10 years. Took Davey through the ARCA series up to the Cup level. And, Robert Yates was our engine builder back then throughout all that. And Clifford Allison and worked for Jeff Bodine. We run second at Daytona on the late model sportsman race, and then the following race we went to Darlington, 1982. We won that race on Saturday. We beat David Pearson, and Monday morning he got the Cliff Stewart Gatorade ride and went on to win Rookie of the Year. So I've been a lot of years in racing and got a lot of cool stories as well.
Yeah, so you're going to be coming on. Yeah, definitely. When you come on the show, I guess maybe in a month or so, I guess we're going to work on that. And then have you in here on the show, and it'll probably be a 2-hour show or something, but yeah.
Yeah, he's got lots to talk about. He's got some cool stuff going on with what he's doing nowadays too, with his fire aid stuff and his, all the safety side of things. I know we use a lot of his products at our shop at SRX, so he's got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
When you bookshelf things of them.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Get them fully stocked at SRX.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, those things are neat.
Stocked.
Yeah, the tube that whenever it heats up and then it just puts the fire out immediately, just like that.
Have you seen the video of him when he sprays the stuff on his hand and then lights it on fire?
Did you send me that one?
No, you need to look at that.
I bet he'll do it live for you.
He'll do it. He'll do it. He
Yeah.
sprays the stuff on his hand, and then he just lights his hand on fire, and you're like,
All
okay,
right.
I guess that stuff really does work, like you say.
Okay, we like fire. Fire.
Absolutely.
That's confidence in your products.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, when you're on the show, we'll do that.
You can get into the circus too with all the fire people that do all that.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Simpson became famous when he lit himself on fire, so I figured I had to follow somewhat in his footsteps.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thanks for coming out, Joey.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks to
for
y'all
all you
for
do
coming.
motorsports.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the history, love documenting these stories. And so Colt someday, we might look back and be like, you know what, Colt was in here and here's his story.
Maybe in 10 years we'll have him as a headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
So the funny thing is, he was telling me this morning, because I knew he was coming to do this, and then he said, "So I found out this is an hour and a half. You're gonna come with me."
Yes.
And then he said, "It's called Racing Roots," and he said,
"Oh yeah, this is funny.
Not racing roots like yours, like racing roots like the road." So I actually started a podcast. We started one last year. It's a family friend of mine who's become family through racing. I don't know if you've ever heard of Brian Clausen, but Brian ran some NASCAR stuff, ran the Busch Series for Chip Ganassi.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so then he went back, moved back to Indiana, was very famous on the USAC side of things, ran the Indy 500 quite a few times, and Brian was killed in an accident at Belleville, leading a race at Belleville in Kansas. And so he was an organ donor. His family found out afterwards. And so that went on to, he ended up, the family donated his organs, and he saved 5 lives through organ donation and helped over 45 other people with tissue and blood and marrow and all the other things. So from that, his family has continued on, and his sister now works for the Indiana Donor Network and runs the Driven to Save Lives program. So through that program, my family co-owns, my cousin Richard Marshall co-owns a race team with her family. So it's Clausen Marshall Racing. And so Taylor McLean, that's his sister. And so Taylor and I, we were talking about, we were like, you know, what's really interesting to us is that we were both born into racing, and we know the stories behind the story, like how people got to where they are. And a lot of people don't realize that I'm the Marshall and she's the Clausen in Clausen Marshall Racing. So now she works for Indiana Donor Network. I represent Ryan Newman. And we put him together, and he's now a spokesperson for the Indiana Donor Network. So we were standing on pit road at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We brought a midget and put a midget on the front stretch at IMS and did a photo shoot there. And her boss from Indiana Donor Network says, "So how do the two of you know each other?" So I looked at her and I said,
Wow.
you see the logo right here, the Clausen and the Marshall? And she said, yes. And I said, well, she's the Clausen and I'm the Marshall.
Yeah.
And so she said, really? And she's like, well, you need to like tell that story. So we started a podcast called Racing Roots, but we did it ROOTS.
Okay.
So
yeah.
But we
Funny coincidence.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
We got a man for it.
Yeah. But we've got, I mean, you know, we both have families and small kids and stuff and jobs and all these other things going on. So we've put some episodes out, but it got to be where it was a little bit much. I told her, I said, I can't do the editing. I can do the talking. I can do I can call, I can line people up. So we kind of put it on hold for a little while when things got really busy at the end of last year. So we're going to do some more episodes this summer while we're together during the BC 39 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They built a dirt track in turn 3 of IMS, and they run that in honor of her brother. So we're going to record some more interviews there and record some more during Knoxville Nationals and some of the other big races, and then put some more episodes out. But so the other racing routes.
Yeah, very good. And I think, you know, doing that, I think it's a great thing because, you know, you think about how many people, how many lives that Clausen saved, you know, by donating his organs. And then now you're getting it out to that many people. So it's just multiplying. It's like compounding.
Absolutely.
I guess you could say.
Yeah, and Brian was he was at that moment, he was in the middle of, he was calling it Chasing 200. He wanted to run 200 races that year in different types of cars. So the Indy 500, I mean, everything from midget sprint cars, all different types of vehicles that year. So the family decided that their goal became that they were going to continue registering people up to 200. And they, you know, the donor network told them, they said, well, that's a really great goal to honor him, but it's very hard to convince people to register to be an organ donor. That's not something that happens very quickly. And so they said, you know, we just want you to know that it may not happen, you know? So they said, that's fine, but you don't know the racing community. You don't understand the people that we come from. And so they took it as a challenge. And by the end of the weekend, they had met their 200, and they went on to well exceed that. So then the goal became 2,000, and then they exceeded that. So it's continued to grow. So as far as we know, it's the single most successful campaign to get people to sign up. So it continues to grow every year.
Wow.
But
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds great. We had a question coming in. So you want to ask that question, Bryson?
Yeah. It's another question from Suzette McGuire. It says, does Colt want to drive in NASCAR when he gets older?
Absolutely not.
oh,
She's like, didn't expect that one.
No.
All right. There you go.
They
He wants to be a
race
sprint car driver.
You didn't say that. His mind has changed here recently then.
he's 8. His mind
Yeah.
changes frequently.
It will, I'm
Yes.
sure. I'm sure it'll change again and continue to. Leland Johnson, great quick DEI story. Or was
Dale
he
Earnhardt
commenting?
Enterprise.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was commenting on a story that was already told or if he was
Yeah,
asking
when
for
she
one.
said something about it. He said,
Oh, I
great
got you.
DEI story.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Very good. Okay. I guess we'll wrap it up now because it's, about that time. We could just keep going. We could keep talking all night and I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
But
Bench racing.
Skip
Do it
school
forever.
tomorrow.
yes,
I
bench
wasn't
racing.
around for
Oh,
DEI,
skip.
but I worked at Junior Motorsports. Closest thing to it now that's left.
Yeah. Junior Motorsports. Yes. I've
I
had
can't
Danny
skip
Earnhardt Jr. on. Danny Jr.
Oh, you have Danny Jr.?
Yep. Yep.
No.
And
I
then
worked with him.
Earnhardt Jr. sent me a message during the show, and then I didn't see it until I guess it's about a month later. He sent it to me on Twitter, and then I didn't have my notifications on, and so he was asking me to ask him a question about asking how many places, how many other teams had offered, Cup teams had offered him a job, and he decided he wanted to stay working at DEI or at Junior Motorsports.
At Junior Motorsports.
Yeah, keep doing that. Anyway, so I thought that was pretty funny. Hello.
You know who would be great, who you should have on the show sometime, would be Matthew Dillner.
We had Matthew on.
Have you had Matt before?
Yes, yeah. He was great. Yeah, I love the stories. Awesome. Love the Lost Speedways, and I don't know if they're going to have an episode 3. I'm not sure about what's going on with that.
I think they are. I think it got renewed again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully. That was great.
Yeah. I think it is.
Yeah.
He just posted there was somewhere he was at this weekend. I can't exactly remember where it was.
I think they're already.
I've been racing all my life, and they had some speedways on there that I didn't know about, that I'd never even heard of. So, yeah, it's a great show.
I think that NBC loves Dale Jr. and the rest of them so much they can pretty much keep going as long as they want to. So.
Well, I told him, and I don't know if I sent Junior. I don't guess I did. But if they needed someone that could metal detect, I want to go and do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love doing that.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Yes. go to the old tracks and do it, So.
I wonder how much change you'd find.
Promise me you'll take me to
Probably.
Yes, I promise you I'll take you.
You got to wear shorts and black socks.
He's very worried.
With sandals when you do it, though.
Oh, yeah, of
like
course.
The old man on the beach.
And the little hat.
Yeah, and the hat.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Well, I think we need to ask them if they'll come out to Millbridge one Tuesday night and come watch you race. Come see some good racing out at Millbridge and come see the show that Ashley and Jeremy Burnett are putting on out there now.
Yes, I would love to do that. Definitely.
Come hang out one night. That would be fun.
So, do they still do? Was it Wednesday nights?
So they, when all the COVID stuff happened, they started splitting it into 2 nights. So Tuesday nights are the younger
and the
kids.
Fields are so big now.
Well, and the fields have grown so big. So Tuesday nights are the younger kids. So so it's cadet, beginner box stock, and junior wing. And then Wednesday nights are the open, intermediates, micros, and restricted micros. And then now they're even running, this year they're running Legends cars out there too. They're running them just every so often, not every week. The restricted micros aren't every week either, but we're running the next 2 Tuesdays.
Oh, okay. All right. Tuesday.
Tomorrow and then the next Tuesday.
Good racing and some good walking tacos.
Good walking tacos. Come eat dinner at Millbridge.
Yeah.
That's what
2
we do
reasons
every
I go to
Tuesday.
Millbridge.
All right. We'll have to do that. That sounds like a great time for sure. And speaking of Tuesday nights, I'm gonna have to do a special Tuesday night show. I'm gonna have Peggy Flock.
Oh wow!
On the show, so
that's incredible.
Yeah, Tim Flock's daughter, and she'll have some great stories. I want to hear more about Jocko Flocko. Was one of the big stories that I know she's going to tell us. But the whole Flock family were just amazing in racing and airplane acrobats and all kinds of stuff. And, Jocko Flocko, remember, he was the monkey in the car with Tim Flock. And Tim Flock's been rated as one of the top 50 drivers of all time in NASCAR. But I think the story was when Jocko was in there, the last time he rode, he pulled the door open on the inspection where they would pull it open to check the tire wear. And I think it just freaked him out so much he started jumping around and caused Tim to lose the race. And so that was the last ride for Jocko Flocko.
Oh, man.
But I asked Peggy when I saw her down at the North Turn restaurant whenever.
Oh, I love North Turn.
Yeah, we got to go down and do the parade in a 41 Ford.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And so she came up to me and said, "Hey, I've seen your show. I like you might be interested in this article." And I said, "So tell me about Jocko Flocko." And then she said, "Well, it was our family monkey and our pet." And then I said, "Wait a minute. I want you to tell me that. I want you to come on the show and tell this story."
Yeah.
So just hang on. And so I can't wait to have her on the show. So that'll be good.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Next Monday is going to be Jerry Cook. He is the 6-time NASCAR modified champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Should have Nick Hoffman.
So that'll be good. Yeah, Nick Hoffman. I've known him for a very long time. Of course, his dad worked in racing too. But he used to race out at the what's that?
Christy Cook coming?
Christy's coming.
Yeah.
Yep, and her mom. She said they're bringing the whole family.
Oh wow!
So it'll be interesting. Yes, it'll
That'll
be
be fun.
like
She runs the Robert Yates side of the engine.
Yep.
Engine shop.
She's been doing that forever.
David
She's been
Lewis and all that.
with Robert, over at Robert Yates Racing now, with David and them guys over there now. And so the following week, the 25th, it's going to be Wagon Load of Trouble. I'm actually going to do a music show. So we're going to have a Wagon Load of Trouble out of Mooresville. They're going to be here and set up their band, and they're going to play all car songs.
Wow.
And so if y'all come on out and hang out, we're going to have open
That
studio.
sounds good.
Oh really?
And just, come in and hang out and
You
listen
can
to
bring
some
your
good
gauchos
music.
from next door.
Yeah, that's right. Come out. Maybe we'll meet you over at
As long as you
Groucho's.
bring
and-
Bryson something over, okay? You got to get his
Or-
order ahead of time
yeah.
and bring it over.
yeah.
I'll be coming in here with
Yeah.
that. Something
We
for
might-
him too.
Yeah, we might be able to have some Groucho's brought in that evening.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Bryson, as always.
Yeah.
Good
Thanks for
job.
letting me hang out.
Yeah,
Always
thanks
have fun.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out and all that you do out there at Hickory. Keep it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and thank y'all for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for
Great.
having us on.
Good time.
Yes. And my wife Tracy, of course. Thank you.
course.
Such a great job,
Yeah.
as always. Yeah.
And her fans are happy. They got their camera shot over tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
See what's on the
So-
brain.
Yes. So Ryan, Allison, and Colt McKinney. Thank y'all for coming in. And then Joey Cudmore. And we're going to have you in probably in a month or so.
Thanks for bringing us up here, Joey. We appreciate it.
Yes. All right. And all our listeners out there, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And if you like this video, hit the like if you would. And if you got any questions, you can go back on this video and ask the questions right there or leave us a comment. And I'll make sure that it gets seen by everyone that's here tonight.
And we can
So-
also put all of his Facebook stuff on there, all of his
Absolutely.
things on here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Bryson's on that. He's working on it still. But it's on there. All right, good deal. Put the link on. Very good. All right, we all have a great week, and we'll see y'all next Monday evening on Racing Roots with Hamm.
Everything at Energy United starts with safety. From cybersecurity protocols to keep our online presence protected, to safety measures instilled by each and every line